Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today we're taking a look at the Ripple XRP price chart. I've got us on the weekly time frame right here because, well, it's the end of the week. It's Friday. It's been a relatively flat week, and relatively, I say, because the price swings have been kind of dramatic if you're new into this market, seeing 18%. But in general, when we look at what the price swings have been over the last couple of weeks, we've seen hundreds of percentage points to the upside. So in relation to how we've done the last couple of weeks, it's been pretty tame. But today we'll take a look here at this XRP price chart. And I do want to tell you that I am going to do a live stream this afternoon at 2100 UTC, 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm now on a 16-day streak of doing live streams and creating videos, but I actually am going to take this weekend off if prices remain in the range. And when I say the range, I mean right here between 45 cents and between 72 cents, a massive range. So long as we're still trapped in here, if you've been watching my videos throughout the week, this area is pretty much essentially our accumulation zone. This is where we're trapped at. We have a gap down here near 45 to 46, 47 cents, completely in this area. And at the same time, we have our big resistance coming in up here at 72 cents. So long as we're still in here, there's not a lot to say about the XRP price chart, except that we're still accumulating and we're still consolidating. The macro picture, the zoomed out picture on larger time frames is incredibly bullish. For all the OGs, I was talking with Mr. DYOR yesterday that the OGs will all remember this and how long we went through this whole moment. You guys remember this right here? It's gonna hold, guys. We're gonna hold this. Yeah, it's gonna make it. We're gonna hold, and then boom, we're out of there, right? So the whole aspect of us holding this level and us getting out of here, it's just incredibly bullish, and especially since we saw that the back test came back down in here. So from a macro perspective, XRP is incredibly bullish. This is all just accumulation in my opinion. I don't expect us to break down below here. I expect once this accumulation is completed, we will then head up to the next level, which is near $2. But in the meantime, in the short term, we just have to wait for the consolidation to play out. And if you've been tuning into this channel this week, it sounds like, hey, it's just kind of repeating the same thing. And that's what happens when the price goes flat. There's not much to say when it comes to price action when we're consolidating and flat, but hopefully you're learning something along the way because these are one of the most important tools that there is. I always say this, if I had to lose all the tools and I wasn't allowed to use anything except for Fibonacci retracements, this is the one that I would use. I see a lot of questions in the comment section. I'm using TradingView. I get asked all the time, what kind of trading software am I using? This is tradingview.com. You can get a free account there. I don't have an affiliate link to it or anything like that. I do pay for, Pro Plus plan, but that's just me because I use a lot of the stuff on here, but you can get yourself a free account. This is the Fibonacci retracement tool. You just find it over here. You'll see this pitchfork over in the corner. You just go down to Fib retracement and put this on here. But it's a very normal structure that we see over there on XRP. And I can even show you Bitcoin on a huge time frame, right? Look at this. It comes above the 618. And this is just what you see, right? You see a parabolic rise. You see a crash, you see a retracement way back up here, and then you see reaccumulation down near the lows, and then you can take off. In a nutshell, that's what we're seeing over here on XRP. You see the big fall, you see the retracement, and then now we're seeing the reaccumulation. But the cool thing is, even when we zoom out really far and we go back to that monthly time frame, you guys saw this already, but look at this. We've got our setups all taking us, getting us ready to rock and roll. So if time is in any way repeating itself, well, December, it's going to end strong. So we'll see how the end of the month actually ends up playing out. This all looks like it's temporary, just reaccumulation. And well, if we continue doing what we did last time, we could expect to see prices right up in there around that $2 and potentially closing the month out somewhere in that $1.50 to $1.75 if things continue doing as they've done. So while we're in short-term accumulation, I expect that this will eventually turn back up before December is over. What's really wild about it too is when we get there, when we get to December 31st, and if prices are pushing up there, if you remember when we did the live stream to close out the month of November, we were looking at Bitcoin. I didn't expect for us to be looking at Bitcoin at that time, but we were. And well, if we do continue this whole December pump like we saw back in here, it'll be really interesting to see where this closes out, because if we look over here, we could see what this is. And not only is this just a monthly close, that's the end of the year. So that's a December yearly candle which you could see right there. So will we close the year out that high? We'll have to find out. But man, imagine the FOMO that will happen if the yearly candle closes above the 2017 yearly candle. So if you get caught up in some of this short-term volatility, just remember the monthly time frame looks absolutely fantastic, heading out to targets. If we continue what we were doing, the weekly time frame looks fantastic, above our resistance levels and holding our support level. And on the daily time frame, following everything that we've been looking for and breaking out to new highs exactly as expected. So all the people who have been around here for a while, watching us go through all this stuff, watching that 17.5 cent hold, watching that 22-cent hold, it all led up. The structures are still doing exactly as they should. And to continue that, it means that this level holds as well. And then we just start plowing our way up even higher. So it's looking awesome. We're all just at the mercy of the reaccumulation phase going on right now. But let me zoom out on this chart, and I want to tell you a story of exactly what this price action was all like, just to kind of remind everybody who's been here this whole time and to kind of bring people in who are brand new to investing in XRP and what things were like and understanding how the mindset of it all worked. Back here, this is March. This is when the stock market was crashing. This is when everything fell. Silver fell, gold fell, literally everything crashed at the same time, including cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, XRP, you name it, all of them did it. And right back in here, people were not willing to buy it. There was too much fear. I know exactly what narratives were out there. I know exactly who they were coming from. And there were people predicting that the price was going to go down to 6 cents, 5 cents, 8 cents. And people were unwilling to pay for it down here and buy XRP in these slower teens because of the fear of the price going even lower. Then the price regained its value, and then it came back down here to 17.5 cents. We were expecting 17.5 cents over here on this channel. I was buying. Same thing occurred. No, it's not going to. The price is going to break lower. We're going to go down to 12 cents. We're going to go down to 10 cents. We're going to go down to 15, whatever you name it. People were unwilling to buy it because they thought the price was going to go lower. Then we broke out up here. This was the first time we saw some FOMO actually happen after the whole big crash that took place back in March when we had all that crazy stuff. This was our first real rally that took us back up into the lower 30s. We saw that behavior of FOMO buying, of I'll pay whatever it is, doesn't matter, the price is going to skyrocket, I have a long-term vision, I'll hold on to this. It did not take long, 45 days later, until the entire sentiment of the market was in the complete gutter. Fortunately, on this channel, we had the expectation that the price would pull back down to 22.5 cents, and it did. It got down in here, and this was my accumulation zone. I posted it on Twitter every time I'd buy it, and that's where I was buying XRP and accumulating XRP just like I was accumulating it back here. But there were things that were very obvious about every time that I've bought XRP in the past where there's this tightwad feeling. There's people who just don't want to buy it. They think the prices are going to go lower, and that's always usually the best time when it's a good time to be adding to your bag. We see it over and over again that when prices fire up, there's some type of psychological impact that happens to people where they can justify paying the higher prices because they say to themselves, I'm going to have a long-term vision, and it doesn't matter what price I pay right now because I'm going to hold to much higher targets. But then you give it enough time for their psychology to get flipped. You give it enough time for that euphoria to wear off and for that excitement to wear off. And then finally, they panic sell after the prices fall down. So the big question people are asking me is, hey, one, should I be buying it right now? And two, when moon? When moon's normal. I get that all the time. I've gotten it the whole time forever. When moon, when's it going to go up? Because the reality is what they really care about more is how long is it going to take. My euphoria can only last so long. My impatience will start to kick in if we don't have it happen within a certain amount of time, and I'm afraid that my emotions may change drastically if too much time passes by, which is what does happen. And the market has a tendency to shake people out as they reach their emotional threshold. One thing we talked about down in here as we reach these levels, I kept saying it's not going to break this price level, but I could see a max pain event occurring even without breaking below lower prices. And we did. We got to witness that. We watched Bitcoin really take off without XRP. So the market has a way to shake you out of your position and make you doubt that whole, it doesn't matter, I'll just hold on to it. You could get jealous. You could look to the next asset and see the next asset taking off while this one is still consolidating, and then your mind suddenly changes. But the reason I bring this whole thing up is because here we go. He's going to hear this right now. I was talking to my buddy on the phone the other day, and for those who have been with the channel a long time, I've actually talked about him before. He used to call me back in the day when prices were rough. Say, "Hey, blockchain backer, what's going on with my XRP?" If you've been around a long time, maybe you remember that story. But yeah, no, he's really feeling the euphoria right now. He's feeling the excitement. He's buying other digital assets that have already taken off, right? Throwing kind of that stuff out the window with and using that mindset of, look, it's going to keep firing up, man. It's going to keep going much higher. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what price I pay for it. But boom, when I heard that, I was thinking, oh no, that's probably the temporary top of the coin that he was buying. It wasn't XRP, it was something else, but I was thinking, oh boy. So, in this accumulation phase that has only been taking place for 10 days, to answer your question of, is now the time when I should be buying? You're going to have to make that decision for yourself. The only thing I can do is provide you some experiences that I've been through. And my experiences are that usually when it feels really, really terrible to buy and it seems like the dumbest time to be a buyer, it's usually the best time. And usually whenever it feels really good to be a buyer, especially after prices have gone up really fast, it's usually not the right time. Again, the macro picture of XRP is absolutely phenomenal. But I issue you these warnings just to tell you, you have to have a time horizon. You have to have the stomach. You have to have the kahunas of steel to make it through all of this. This is not child's play. This is the big boys. Welcome to the Thunderdome, and the market will try to shake you out like crazy. So you just have to ask yourself, how strong am I? Can nothing shake me out? Hero or zero? It's up to you. You see the macro time frame, it looks bullish as can be. It's just, can you stomach that volatility? Because history has proven over and over again, people get shaken out over and over and over. So if you're thinking about buying, just understand there's 20% down to the downside support. There's still 20% to the upside until we get out of here and we can start kind of getting excited again. And we're just hanging out here in the middle and understanding that time, we can't predict it. We have to wait and we have to be patient. But in the end, this is the best digital asset in crypto, in my opinion. And I have all the faith and all the confidence in the world that these prices will go much higher. And while it's not sexy that I'm not on here screaming, yeah, let's go to the moon, and I'm sitting here being kind of that cautiously optimistic type of person, you'll understand that's just what this channel is like. And when things get down here, and the moment you start doubting yourself, and the moment you start saying, oh no, that's when you're suddenly going to see me become this massive bull. And you're going to be like, what is going on? Why is this guy so bullish when it doesn't feel like it's time to be? And it's always like that. I'm always staying a step ahead of where everything's at. So right now, we're sitting in the dead center of an accumulation zone. So it's the only thing I can't do. I could say, look, it can go to the top of the accumulation zone and go to the bottom of the accumulation zone. Macro picture is massively bullish, but we just have to kind of wait for this thing to kind of play out for a minute. And there's been a lot of new people subscribing to this channel over the last couple of weeks. It's been phenomenal, but you'll understand it when the time comes when you say, oh my gosh, you will look at me and you'll say, this guy does not know what he's talking about. Why is he doing this at the time that he's doing this? And then, give it a couple of weeks and you say, wait a minute, that was the time. It's all about trying to stay ahead of your own psychology. Your own psychology is your biggest enemy, and just understanding that you need to do the opposite of whatever you think you need to do. And that's the retraining of your own brain. And it a lot of times is very, very, very difficult to do. You have to completely change everything you've ever done. Every single emotional protective mechanism engraved in your DNA that has protected you in most usual circumstances does not work here. You have to do the exact opposite of that. You have to do things that feel bad during a bad time. And for example, when you're very, very scared that the prices are going to keep going lower, and you just know in your heart these prices are absolutely going to go lower, I'm going to wait for even cheaper prices, that's the time to buy. Whenever you're completely, absolutely terrified and you feel like complete garbage, you have to do something that your brain would never allow you to do in a normal circumstance. And the same is going to be true when these prices are moving to the upside really fast. It's going to feel really bad to sell. There's going to be a lot of emotions. The same friend who I was talking to the other day about XRP and about him buying those other altcoins was telling me, man, your price targets are on the low end, man. You're looking at that $10 to $13. I'm looking all around, man. I'm seeing $100. I'm seeing $200. Man, there's no way you're really going to sell at that $10. It's going to be really hard to do it. And he's gonna love that I've used that accent, and his brother's probably gonna give him heck for that. But the reality is that, right? When the time comes, it's going to feel bad. What are you going to do? You're going to see a green line shooting straight up into the air, and then you're going to say, I'm just going to get off right here? Or are you going to say, well, let me just see how it plays out. Let me just see if it keeps going, and then never take advantage of the opportunity when it's presented in front of you, right? Imagine that. The green lines are firing straight to the upside, and then you just get off and you say, that's it, I'm done. That was fun. And then you walk away from it, not knowing, will that green line continue to go up? And when you sell into the green line, right? Because history shows it, charts show it. When's the best time to sell? It's at the top. Well, what's happening at the top? The prices are just firing up. They don't fire all the way to the ground, and then you can't rewind history and go back and sell the top. You have to sell the top when the top is happening, which means that it's going to feel euphoric. It's going to feel exciting. It's going to feel amazing, and it's going to feel terrible to be the person to sell into that, because what are you going to do if all your friends owned XRP, if your family owns XRP, all your Twitter followers, all the people you look at on the internet, they all own XRP, and you're going to get off. You're going to let it all go. What's going to happen if your sister who owns XRP, or your brother, or your mom, or your really annoying cousin, if they all hold on to that XRP and it keeps firing to the upside and you're the dummy who sold it, right? It's going to be hard. And that's what makes this stuff tough. And that's why it's important to have a plan. And that's why it's important to have that longer term horizon so you don't get shaken out. So you do have a place where you get off the spaceship and land on the moon at some point. You don't want to go to the moon and then fall back down to Earth, man. We watched that happen during the 2018, 19, and 20 bear market. You don't want to ride through that. You want to have the opportunity to get off the spaceship when the time is right and not sell into fear at some point. Because if you don't have a plan to sell into a really big green candle, then the only other thing that's going to happen to you is you're going to sell in fear into a big red one. So have a long time horizon, do your own research, be prepared for volatility, but understand we're still super, super early. XRP is only 59 cents right now. It's an amazing opportunity in my opinion. And it has been one ride of 2 weeks for us over this last few weeks going through this. And it's been super exciting. And boy, these charts don't show that it's going to stop anytime soon. Whew. All right. I'll check you guys later on the live stream later this afternoon. Here in the United States, it's in the afternoon. But otherwise, you guys can check out my website over here. It's bcbacker.com. It does have 19 videos with 4.5 hours of content. I talk about my exit plans in there and looking at the history of these cryptocurrency markets and talking about my plans. I am going to execute my plans. You better believe it. So I put all that stuff out there. It's everything that I've ever learned throughout the cryptocurrency market and tied it all into 4.5 hours. You can enroll in this course for $39 over on bcbacker.com. You can follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. Hey, check that out. Just hit 30,000. That's amazing. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot believe I've been going at this for 16 days straight. We'll get that live stream out, and then those Christmas lights are going up, man. But all right, thank you guys. I appreciate you watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you could be notified when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I'm not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. And we'll be out of this accumulation zone before you know it. Have a good one.